Welcome to this week's Dream Car judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name is Nathan Chambers from Onside Law and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company Promo Veritas. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves using a secure link provided. Mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name's Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
Good morning, my name is Peter Giorgio. I'm a futsal and football referee.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Good morning, my name's Andy Braithwaite and I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer. Good morning, my name is Alain Goma. I'm an ex-professional football player, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
My name is Nigel Hicks. I've been a Supply League match official for over 30 years and I'm an experienced football administrator.
Hi, my name's Renee Hector and I'm the head coach of Watford FC Women.
Hi, I'm Jenna Scalacci, retired professional footballer. I'm now operations manager at Tottenham Hotspur Academy.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is a calculated average of the 8 individual sections.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to do it slightly differently this morning. I think we've got quite a tight lineup from this player in purple or maroon. So I'm going to draw some lines up from him. So we've got a very narrow view up from his eyes. And then we've got a slightly bigger view from this player on the right in white. So I've drawn some lines in early so we can see what we're doing. Leo, I'm going to come to you. There's your yellow cross there. Could you explain what you're seeing in the photograph, please? The trajectory of the ball, and then how you reached your decision. And as I said, that's your yellow cross that's magnified at the top.
Okay. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Yeah, there's a couple of players in shot. I think the ball's in the foreground. I think it's possibly, a set play, maybe a free kick where the ball's been played in, because there's a few bodies sort of around the ball to be challenged for it. The player in purple, he's unimpeded. He's got a free header. His left elbow is high and his sort of right arm is a bit lower. And I think he's a little bit tilted to his right-hand side. So I think he's adjusting to get to the ball, which is coming into him. We've got quite a good view of his eyes, Matt. They're both predominantly looking directly up, and not. Sometimes they're a little bit apart, but on this occasion they're not. So I think he's looking directly at the ball. The player in white to his left, I think he can see the ball. I took a little bit from him, and I think it's dropping in, and there's a little bit of steepness to the ball. I think the player also in purple is obviously off the ground, and as I said, he's going to hit the ball.
Right. I was writing some notes. I'm going to come to you next, Peter, because you're just to the left of Leo's on the same height up from the player in purple. How did you see it?
Yes, good morning, everyone. As I said, there's two players in shot, possibly three, just right at the back of the player, to his right. Player in purple favourite for the ball. He's almost at the top of his jump. His arms are propelling him up. Good set of eyes on the ball. He's focused. He's top of his head. He's frowning across his brow. So the ball is imminent. I also agree that it's dropping in from left to right down, back in the foreground. And the player at the back in white, I believe he's, even though he's focused on the ball, he's more focused really on pushing the player. You can see his arms coming across his lower back, with the purple's lower back. So, yes, purple is favourite for the ball for me.
Okay. I'm working my way down. I'll come to you. No, that's mine next on the left, just a little bit below you. I agree. I think the player in purple is off the ground. He's just ready to pull his arms back to me to head the ball. I do think the player in white's trying to get involved in the sense he's not going to challenge the ball other than giving the player in purple a bit of a nudge in the back, maybe. And I don't know whether the player in purple's already been nudged and he's sort of having to sort of crane back to head the ball. So I'm not sure whether he's going to get sort of full force from his forehead for me. I think maybe he'll get something on the ball. And again, I agree with Leo. I think it's probably a set play of some sort, the way it seems to be lined up and the way the ball's coming in a big trajectory. Two good eyes on the player in purple, looking up, centered up. Ball's in the foreground. He's slightly twisted round, so it's coming ahead of him. And I've cross-referenced the two eyes, or two sets of eyes, I should say, with the player in white looking over the back of the player in purple. And that's how I reached my decision where we go there. So we're quite congested here, so bear with me while I come to Jenna's. You're next. There's your pink cross, a little bit to the right of my own. What did you see?
Very similar to what's already been said. Two players in the shot, four very good eyes there. For me, I think the player in maroon is off the floor. He's looking out in the foreground. He looks very focused on the ball. His arms are up. His neck looks tense. I think he's just preparing to head the ball back the way it's coming from. Player in the white behind him, he's still on the ground. I don't think he's going to get a good challenge. I think he's just going to maybe give him a nudge in the back just to try and put him off his jump. But for me, dropping in from left to right and player in maroon's favourite.
Lovely. Thank you. And dropping down just slightly below yours, Jenna, is Nigel's. There's your purple cross that's magnified there. And it's quite a congested area. Do you agree with that, Nigel?
Yeah, pretty much. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, I feel the ball's dropping fairly vertically. It's in the foreground, and I make the player in maroon favourite for it. I think the ball's dropping on his head, and he's got, from the shape of his body, it looks like he's pulling himself back a little bit. His neck's wrinkled, his body's tense, his arms are out. To give him that power and momentum. I think he's probably going to head the ball to our right, his left, which I think is why he's leaning slightly to his right. I think player in white behind has got a view of that ball as it's dropping down onto that player in red, and he's looking over the player's head at it. As has been said, he's got his arms extended. I think he's going to try and put that player off. But yeah, player in maroon for me, and where the eyes cross is where I've put my X.
Great, lovely. And dropping down a little bit and to the left is yours, Alain. There's your orange cross that's magnified there. Did you see it any differently?
Thanks, Matt. No, I agree that, with what's been said so far, I think they had the ball coming from left to right, slightly in the foreground. The play in maroon, favorite to head the ball. I think, as Leo mentioned, I think it's leaning slightly on his right, maybe slightly backwards. So I thought either he's coming across to try to intercept the ball, or maybe he's been backpedaling and try to jump to head the ball back. I got my height from the play. The direction of the ball, I think, slightly in front of the play in the maroon. I got my height from the play in white. His crouching is a bit, lower, and I thought he was couldn't see any whites at the bottom of his eye, so he's looking up, but not very steeply. Cross-referencing both eye lines, this is where I put my cross.
Thank you. Dropping down another little bit more is yours, Rene. You're on the same line up from the player in white as Alain, but a little bit lower. What did you see?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what's been said. I think balls sort of dropping in from the foreground, left to right. I think the player in maroon is obviously favourite to win the ball. I think from his body shape, he's potentially trying to head it in the opposite direction, sort of get round the ball and almost try and head it off to his left. But yeah, in terms of the player in white, obviously he's looking up. I just didn't feel like he was looking super steeply. Sort of, there's not white underneath his eyes, which is why my cross is a little bit lower. And I felt that the player in maroon is towards the top of his jump, not quite there, but for me, he's sort of imminently going to fling his head forward and try and head the ball. So that's why mine's a little bit lower. But apart from that, I agree with everything else that's been said.
Yeah, lovely. And last is yours, Andy. There you go. Your blue cross, very close to the player in purple. How did you get to this decision?
Thanks, Matt. Only to add into what's already been said, agreeing with Nigel and then Rene, realising that the guy that, for me, the ball's coming in and the main guy in the centre of the picture in maroon or burgundy, claret, whatever you want to call it, is going to flick it onto his left. So the ball's coming in from right to left in the foreground. I believe he's going to flick it to his left. Left elbow sort of to swing that way, right arm. The whole body posture tells me that's the way the ball's going. The fella in white to the right of the picture, I felt that he was looking probably into the back of his head. The reason why I've put mine slightly lower, I don't think he's looking over his head, because for me, he's wincing a little bit. So whether the guy, he's trying to fend him off from either falling into him, he's obviously not going to be able to reach the ball himself. But I just felt he was looking towards the back of the player in front of him.
Yeah. And can I just clarify one thing, Andy? You said at the beginning you thought the ball was coming in right to left. Is that correct?
Sorry, left to right. Left to
Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. That's
good. Okay, thank you. So we're all in agreement that the player in the front is going to head the ball. 4 of us think it's the player in purple, and 4 of us think it's the player in maroon, but it's the same player. He's looking up. And a few of us think or said it was a set play, and he's off the ground just about to head the ball, and the player in white is looking across at the ball, apart from Andy, who thinks he's just looking at the back of his head, hence his lower position. Now, if I hover over this calculated average, you see it encompasses us all, with Andy completely outside. So lead judge today, I'm going to remove Andy's, historically for the reasons we've given, and there's not a sort of a mirror choice on the other side. And that gives us this calculated average here. We've got Rene's ever so slightly popping out the bottom, but that's because I've removed Andy's. So if I can come through to you all, and to reiterate, I've removed Andy's for the reasons I've given, and I'd like you all to see whether you're happy with this or indeed want someone else removed, or see what it's like to have something removed, and then we can vote on that. So Peter, I'll come to you first.
Yes, Matt. No, happy for Andy to be removed, and with the rest of us so as is now.
Yeah. Leo?
Yeah, I would remove Andy. I think it's very credible, but I think the average goes into a better position.
Yeah. Andy, I know you're removed, but it's about this calculated average there, and for the reasons I've given.
Yeah, with the remaining judges, that's almost a perfect average in there. That's good.
Yeah. Alain?
Yeah, no, happy with this, your decision to remove Andy. I think it's he's outside of the cluster, and I think it makes sense to remove him.
Yeah. Nigel?
Thanks, Matt. I wouldn't remove anyone else. Happy with the average as it is.
Rennie?
Yeah, I think that's a good average as it is now.
Yeah. And Jenna?
Yeah, really happy with that average as it is.
Okay. So Nathan, after myself as lead judge removing Andy's choice, we're going to judge at this calculated average with the remaining 7 judges taken into consideration.
Thanks, Matt. If you're all happy, then please click submit. Thank you, judges. The coordinates selected are X1947, Y1147. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company, Promo Veritas, to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you very much.